Committee reports, legislative update, Mrs. Shorter.
I have a brief one. As everyone's mentioned, we now have the Department of Workforce and
Education, workforce.
Education. Yes, thank you. A judge lifted the injunction, and so that has, the tenets of House Bill 33 have gone into place. So one of the things that I think would be good for citizens to do is to just kind of keep up with what's happening with the Education Committee. So the Education Committee out of the Senate is a very powerful committee. And one of the things that they're looking at right now is Senate Bill 168. This is sponsored by Senator Michelle Reynolds. Now, this is the second hearing, so the tenets of this bill, there's some things in here that I think we really should pay attention to and keep an eye on. So the bill would make the following changes. Would permit school districts to develop and use their own frameworks for teacher evaluation, instead of using a framework developed by the state board. It modifies license or certificate qualifications for senior or lead professional educators, holders of a professional pupil services license, holders of professional administrator or alternative superintendent licenses, and non-teachers employed as teachers. It eliminates seniority as a preference when making reductions in non-teaching staff positions, changes certain professional development requirements related to dyslexia training, eliminates the requirement that districts enter supplemental contracts with teachers assigned to teach classes outside the normal school day, permits the school district to apply for a waiver from dyslexia screening, clarifies that a school board is not required to hold a separate individual public meeting on a proposed school calendar. So that's something that's important. But that calendar may be addressed as a part of another public hearing or meeting. It also removes several policies and programs from the law, or the laws governing the Department of Workforce and Education and the state board that are obsolete. So I point these things out. This is a part of the Senate Education Committee. These things would have to go through the full Senate and then the House and ratification. However, just keep an eye on what's happening as a result of the changes that we have now. It's important to stay informed. It's important to know what's happening at the State House, even in some of these small committees, because a lot of times things that are bubbling up to the committee when it's had a second hearing, that means that there's probably a good chance that it's going to continue to move forward. So just wanted to let you guys know about that.
Great, great. Thank you, Mrs. Shorter. Butler Tech, I have no report tonight. Student achievement, Mrs. Gundrum.
Yes, I wanted to mention a repeat achiever, and this is Mr. Clark's daughter, Carly. She got to attend Game 2 of the World Series as part of the Jenny Finch Empowerment Award that she had earlier this year. So I'm sure you sacrificed and went with her.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I sucked it up and went.
Yeah. So congratulations. That's surely an experience of a lifetime.
Thank you. It was all fun. She smiled the whole weekend.
I imagine, yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Gundrum. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Clark.
Yeah, 'tis the season. Christmas is around the corner. The radio stations are playing Christmas music. What do you think about that, Mr. Smith?
Loving it.
I
Listen
love
to
it.
it all day, all evening.
Yep, me too.
First thing I do when I get home is turn it on.
You can still get your anything with wheels, get your trucks, your golf cart, your wagons, your bicycles, light them up. You have till November 10th to sign up to be in the Parade of Lights. That is on November 18th, but you have till the 10th of November to get your bicycle lit up or wagon lit up or car, whatever that is, truck. And then there are still Christmas trees available to sponsor at the CAC building. And one more Christmas thing, Christmas light contest. So through December 1st and December 8th. Take pictures of your house. If it's all lit up, send it in for a contest to see who has the best lit up house. You know, Clark Griswold is a pretty good example of how you can step up your game, Mr. Bigley. Light them up. If you have not been to Hardman Park, I suggest you drive up and around through there because there's a lot of activity going on up in there. So they brought in dirt, they've moved dirt, they've taken out some shelters. It's going to be amazing. By next spring, we're going to have the splash pads and it'll be young kid area down to the older kid area. It's going to be pretty amazing. So some new shelters, some new parking grounds. It's really, really cool what's going on up there. I would also add to that, we've met and talked about some grant money that we have through the year of 2024, and some of the local neighborhood parks. We're going to invest in some of those playgrounds, pickleball courts versus tennis courts, some upgrades on some pavements, some paths. So we haven't nailed those down yet to what parks those are, but we're pretty close. So we've got about $250,000 that we're going to put into some of those neighborhood parks to spruce them up, give some upgrades to what is already there to make those neighborhood parks stand tall. I think got some feedback from the community. It seems like the bigger parks, Harbin gets all the attention. So this was a nice pot of money that the government was allowing us to get to pour into some of the other parks that maybe don't get the love that they should. So
To that point, the Elijah Morgan Mansion there, they finished the 6 pickleball courts there. They look amazing.
Yep. There's going to be a couple more pickleball courts around, but paths, repaving. It's going to be good. Some new shelters too. So
Walkability. Right?
Walkability. Yep.
Thank you, Mr.
That's all I
Clark.
have. Yeah.
Mr. Smith, the Planning Commission?
Yes, so from Doug Robertson, the board's representative, he says of potential interest to the school board. At the October 25th meeting, the Planning Commission was presented with a request for an additional 1-year extension to submit the Benzing Estates PUD final development plans. A previous 1-year extension was approved in October of 2022. The original concept plans were approved in October of 21 and proposed to build a residential development consisting of 20 duplexes, 40 units, and 24 patio homes on the east side of South Gilmore Road, approximately 600 feet north of Mack Road. The extension request at the October 25 meeting was approved by the Planning Commission.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Smith and Mr. Robertson.